My dear students, in today's class, we will discuss some more neat bits in part 5. Already in the previous parts, we discussed 21 bits, and today, from 22nd bit onwards, we will discuss the previously given neat bits. Let us go now. 29th bit. An alkene A on reaction with ozone and zinc water gives propanone and ethanol. Ethanol means acetaldehyde, propanone, acetone, in equimolar ratio, 1:1 ratio. Addition of HCl to alkene A gives B as the major product. That means male product is also there. The structure of the product B is 4 structures were given. You have to select the correct bit from these 4 bits. Alkene A on ozenolysis. Generally, whenever you take ozenolysis, can be done on alkene as well as alkyne. So I am taking here alkene. First ozone addition. Next hydrolysis in the presence of zinc. Zinc must be there. Otherwise, aldehyde may be converted into acid. So when this is treated with ozone and hydrolysis, this is put together called ozenolysis. What happens here? Simple trick. Alkene will be broken here, and you have to join 2 oxygens to the 2 carbons. So this is the product. C double bond O plus C double bond O. This is the product obtained there. This is the ozenolysis when alkene gives 2 carbonyl compounds. And what was given here? One is propanone, other one is ethanol. Ethanol means CH3CHO. So you can write here CH3CHO. That is one product. What is the other product? Acetone, propanone. That means dimethyl ketone. So you have to write here CH3 here. These are the 2 products obtained when ozenolysis of alkene is taking place. And what should be the alkene here? Fill up the gaps here. In this you have to take 2 CH3 groups, and in this you have to take 1 H and 1 CH3. This is the alkene, given alkene A. Given alkene A. So what is the alkene? 1, 2, 3, 4 butene. 2-methyl-2-butene is the alkene. 2-methyl-2-butene is the alkene. So whenever what is the alkene that is obtained there means you have to always take the 2 carbonyl compounds that are obtained there. You have to make the 2 carbonyl groups face to opposite each other, and then these 2 oxygens are replaced by double bond. What else you will get here? CH3, C, CH3, double bond C, H, CH3. You have to write the 2 carbonyl compounds obtained there, in which the 2 carbonyl groups are facing opposite each other, and then you have to remove these 2 oxygens, and these 2 carbons are joined by double bond. That is the given alkene. That is the trick you have to adapt here. This is the trick you have to adapt. You have to remove the 2 oxygens and replace it by C double bond C. This is the actual alkene obtained, that is A. And later, that A is treated with alkene, HCl is treated with HCl. What is going to happen here? To this you are adding HCl, H plus Cl minus. You have to follow Markovnikov rule. When your HCl like polar molecule, HBr like polar molecule is added to unsymmetrical alkene, that means when the 2 sp2 carbons are carrying different alkyl groups, the 2 sp2 carbons are carrying different number of hydrogens, then you have to follow Markovnikov rule, according to which the positive part of the addendum will be added to that sp2 carbon which holds greater number of hydrogens. This sp2 carbon is carrying one hydrogen, this sp2 carbon is no hydrogen. So this positive part is added to that sp2 carbon which holds a greater number of hydrogens, negative part to the other carbon. So what is the product here that can be obtained? CH3, CH3, Cl here, CH2 and CH3. This is the actual product B, major product. Minor means you have to write Cl here and you have to write H here. That is minor. So this is the, you have to follow this rule, Markovnikov rule, MR means Markovnikov rule. According to Markovnikov rule, you have to add HCl. Thereby, the product obtained here is 2-chloro-2-methyl-butane. That is the actual product. Is there answer there? 2-chloro-2-methyl-butane. This is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 2-chloro-2-methyl, not. So this is 1-chloro-3-methyl, not. This is 2-1, this is not at all. Correct. And so this is the bit 1, 2, 3, 4 butane 2-chloro-2-methyl. This is the 2-chloro-2-methyl and this is 2-chloromethyl. So this is the actual answer for this bit. What is the answer? Major product here. C is the correct answer for this bit. Okay? Note it. Next bit. Next, 30th bit. The most suitable reagent for the following conversion. What is that conversion? Here 2-butane was taken. 2-butane. That means dimethyl acetylene. Substitute name. Is converted into this compound. 2-butene. This is what we call 2-butene. But the obtained one is cis. This is nothing but cis. If the two CH3 groups are opposite to the double bond plane, then you have to say that it is trans. But the obtained product is cis. That means reduction of this gives you cis-2-butane. When is it obtained? There are two catalysts. One is Lindor catalyst. That is nothing but palladium supported over carbon in quinoline. Or sometimes you can take here CaCO3, calcium carbonate in quinoline, or sometimes you can take here barium carbonate in quinoline. This is nothing but Lindor catalyst. So, this is Lindor catalyst you are using. This will be giving stereospecific addition. Whenever Lindor catalyst is used, addition of hydrogen, only partial reduction will be taking place. Partial reduction of C triple bond C. That means here C triple bond C will be converted into C double bond C. This is what you call partial reduction. So hydrogen is used here. Palladium, carbon, quinoline, this is Lindor catalyst. When Lindor catalyst is used, it gives you cis addition. It gives you cis addition. That means hydrogens will be added to the C double bond C same sites. C double bond C to the same site they will be added. Similarly, if you take sodium liquid ammonia, this also gives partial reduction. This also gives partial reduction. And here C double bond C is also C double bond C is also converted to C double bond C, but this gives you trans addition. This gives you trans addition. These two are stereospecific additions. So alkyne will be converted into alkene. Particularly you are taking here 2-butane is converted into 2-butane, but that addition is cis. So this is what you call cis-2-butane. Cis-2-butane. When is it obtained? When you are using Lindor catalyst. Where is that? H2 palladium carbon quinoline. That is the Lindor catalyst. So what is the correct bit here? Automatically this gives trans addition, but you are getting a cis addition. So bit B is the correct option for this, right? Okay. So next bit. Next one, 31 bit, just like the previous one. This was also asked in the previous NEET examination. Reduction of 2-butane with sodium liquid ammonia gives predominantly 2-butane. Already we discussed it. 2-butane. This is 2-butane. CH3, C, triple bond C, CH3. This is 2-butane. Sodium liquid ammonia. Sodium liquid ammonia. Trans addition will be taking place. Trans addition will be taking place. So sodium liquid ammonia, always trans addition will be taking place, and this will be converted into CH double bond CH. So what is the product obtained here? Now I am writing here CH3, C double bond C, H here, CH3. This is what we call trans addition. This is trans to butane. Trans to butane. This is the product obtained. So you will get here trans to butane. Partial reduction also takes place here. Here also. Lindal catalyst, you are getting cis addition. Sodium liquid ammonia, you are getting partial reduction, that is trans addition. So trans to butane also you will get here. This is also following the previous bit's nature. So this is the answer. B bit is the correct bit for the 31st bit. Correct selection. Okay? Note it. Next bit. Next bit, 32nd. In the following, the most stable conformation of normal butane. Conformational isomerism is more important in the case of alkanes. And in the case of alkanes, just we can take C single bond C, and this is the sigma bond. Keeping this carbon fixed, the sigma bond can be rotated along with the carbon and its group. Thereby, these groups will be arranged in different spaces with respect to the groups present on the other carbon. And such arrangement is known as conformational isomerism, which is more often occurs in the case of alkanes. And we are having 3 groups here, and here also we are having 3 groups. This is the sigma bond rotation. Okay? Now, in order to have the clear-cut understanding, we will take the Newman projection methods, in which this is the front carbon, this is the rear carbon. This is the front carbon is carrying 3 groups, the other carbon is also carrying 3 groups. And so here, one group is here, one group is here, other group is here. This is like this. So one group you are writing here, and other carbon is also carrying CH3 group, because it is CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. This is normal butane. And you are taking the sigma bond X rotation about this bond. This is the sigma bond. So this carbon is carrying 2 hydrogens and 1 CH3. This carbon is also carrying 2 hydrogens, 1 CH3. You have to take the relative arrangement of these carbons when the rotation about the CC sigma bond is taking place. And so here this carbon is carrying CH3, hydrogen and hydrogen. This carbon is also carrying 3 groups, CH3, H and H. CH3 here you can write for example, and this is H, this is H here. Like this you are writing for example. So this is, the front carbon is carrying 3 groups, and these 3 groups on front carbon are hiding completely the other groups present on the other carbon. That is what we call eclipsed. And this is what we call eclipsed conformer. In the eclipsed conformer, if the same groups are behind the front groups, then automatically you have to call CH3 is hiding this group, H is hiding the same group, H is hiding the same group. Same groups are being hidden there. Then it is called S-cis. That is what we call S-cis. Out of all, S-cis is the least stable because the cloudy groups are nearer, the repulsion will be maximum, and so stability is less. And here you can rotate the sigma bond through an angle, that is diagonal angle, 60 degrees. That means you can make this CH3 come to this place. For that purpose here, you can take, this is the carbon, these groups along with the carbon fixed, and the other carbon is rotating along the sigma bond. If you rotate exactly 180 degrees, the CH3 group is coming here, and the other groups will be here. That means these groups, the groups present on the rear carbon are not at all eclipsing the other groups present on the rear carbon, and this is what you call staggered. In this staggered, when the same groups are lying on the opposite direction, that means exactly at 180 degrees, then the repulsions will be minimum and the stability will be maximum. That staggered conformer, where the CH groups are lying far apart, then it is called as a trans. Trans conformer obtained by rotating sigma bond axis. And this is the cis conformer obtained by rotating the single bond axis, sigma bond axis. So this is the staggered, this is the eclipsed, this is SS, this is trans. Remaining we can take here, for example, this is these three groups are fixed here, and we are taking the other groups like this is CH3, this is H here, this is H here. This is also eclipsed, and this is eclipsed but not as a trans. So this is ordinary eclipsed conformer. Similarly, you can take the other group like this. CH3, H here, H here. You can take here staggered, other staggered like this. Here I am writing CH3, here I am writing H and H. Here the CH groups are far not apart. There is somewhat closure, but it is staggered. This is also staggered. And so this staggered is not S trans. Except S trans, remaining staggered conformers are called Gaussian. This is called Gaussian conformer. This is the nomenclature in the case of conformational isomerism. And here the most stable conformation, when the similar groups are lying maximum distance apart, then the repulsions will be minimum and stability will be maximum. So out of all conformers, which is the most stable means S trans is the most stable. S trans is the most stable conformer out of all. So here out of all these, which is S trans here? This is S trans. This is Gaussian. This is eclipsed. And this is eclipsed but SS. So this is the least stable and this is the maximum stable. A Gaussian is more stable than eclipsed. Any staggered conformer is more stable than any eclipsed conformer. And in this staggered conformer, S trans is the maximum stable, and in the eclipsed conformer, SS is the least stable. That is the order of stability in the case of conformers for Aries alkanes. Okay? So this is the A bit is the correct answer in this option. Okay? Right? Next bit. Next one, 33. In the following, the most stable conformer of ethylene glycol. Glycols, 1,2-dihydroxy compounds are called glycols. When ethylene is oxidized with alkaline KMnO4, you will get ethylene glycol. Hydroxylation takes place here. Ethylene I am taking here, treated with alkaline KMnO4 as the oxidizing agent. Here you have tried H2O plus O. Whenever this is oxidized with alkaline KMnO4, remember cis hydroxylation takes place. You will get cis hydroxylation. That means the two OH groups will be added to the same side of the C double bond plane. And so what we will get here? CH2OH, CH2OH. This is what you call glycol. As ethylene is oxidized with KMnO4 alkaline to give glycol, this is called ethylene glycol. This is the structural aspect of ethylene glycol, where we are having C sigma bond C, just like in the previous case. Free rotation about this axis is possible, and so there are three groups, 2 hydrogens and 1 OH. Instead of CH3, we are having OH group, a special case. And this is also having 2 hydrogens and 1 OH. And so we can take the relative arrangements of these groups in space by the rotation of CC sigma bond axis. Okay. Now we are having eclipsed conformer, staggered conformer. Don't forget, any staggered is more stable than any eclipsed. And so here you got to take these two are eclipsed, these two are staggered. And so staggered conformers are more stable than eclipsed conformers, that is general rule. And out of the staggered conformers, S trans should be the maximum stable one. Because the similar groups will be lying, bulky groups will be lying to the opposite direction at about 180 degrees. So this is OH group, this is OH group. Exactly opposite. Distance is also very large. Repulsions are minimum. So as to our expectation, this should be the more stable. But astonishingly, here this Gaussian conformer, staggered, Except acetrans, the remaining conformers are called staggered conformers called gauche. And so this is what you call gauche. This is called acetrans. So actually, theoretically speaking, this should be the most stable. These two are less stable than staggered. And here gauche conformer is the stable one from this. Why is it so? The two H groups are needed, and so here in this case, hydrogen bonding is possible. Hydrogen bonding is possible. So due to the endomorphic hydrogen bonding, due to the presence of hydrogen bonding between the two H groups are needed, this becomes the most stable one. And you may get it out. These two H are very much needed. Then you can expect the stability also there. But here, trans is more stable than cis or any staggered conformer is more stable than eclipse conformer. This is eclipse, in which this should be the least stable. Then you can think, in the eclipse conformers, this should have been the most stable one because the two H groups are needed. In spite of the repulsions, there may be the hydrogen bonding that creates some stability for it. So that is also there in the eclipse conformer, it becomes a special case. And in this case, staggered conformers, in spite of acetrans having you should have the same more stability, gauche is having the more stability, and the expected answer here is bit B but not A. Here bit B is the correct one because of the hydrogen bonding in between the two OH groups which are nearer to each other in the case of staggered and gauche conformer. Okay? That is how to answer. Next one. Next one, 34th, RCH2 CCl2 R. This means this is geminal dihalide. Where the two halo groups are attached to the same carbon, it is geminal dihalide. Dihaloalkane is given, a reagent is used, it is converted into C12C. That means these two Cls along with the two hydrogens will be removed. Elimination reaction. This is nothing but the elimination reaction. Thereby you are getting here alkyne. What is the reagent that is used here to bring this conversion? One sodium, other one aqueous HCl, third one is zinc in ethyl alcohol, fourth one KOH in ethyl alcohol. These bits are given. Sodium is used in the Woods reaction to give the higher alkane from alkyl halide. So this is not suitable here. Zinc can be used to prepare alkane from dihaloalkane even or haloalkane. That is also not suitable here. Aqueous HCl is used to convert CCl into COH or some other purpose. Aqueous HCl, this is also not suitable for dehydrogenation. That is not the reagent here. Aqueous HCl produces H plus Cl minus. There is no addition reaction here to undergo because there is no double bond. And the only reagent that is used here is alcoholic KOH. You will write here alcoholic KOH. That means KOH dissolved in ethyl alcohol. This is used as dehydrohalogenating agent. Dehydrohalogenating agent. That means you can take HCl, X here, H here. This is X halo. This is alpha carbon, beta carbon. There is at least one beta hydrogen to have the dehydrogenation or any elimination reaction. When alcoholic KOH is used here, this is removed, eliminated. This is eliminated like this. And you will get here C double-bond-C. One more X is also present here, having beta hydrogen once again. Further, you continue the reaction alcoholic OH. Further dehydrogenation take place here and you will get a double bond like this. And generally, what is the reagent used here? That is nothing but the alcoholic OH. And of course, when once this dehydrogenation is done, you are getting a vinyl halide. That is somewhat stable through plasmosomeric effect. So the power of the alcoholic OH may not be sufficient to bring the elimination reaction second time. And of course here you have to agree because this is the product, this is the only reagent given. That is for dehydrogenation. And so here in this case, if the power is not sufficient, you can use other dehydrohalogenating agent like sodamide. In this case, in spite of that, you can use sodamide. This dehydrohalogenase can be done easily and you will get alkyne easily. If this is not sufficient, you can use here. At present, in this bit, only alcohol KOH is given, and so for dehydrohalogenation, that means here you can take RCH2 CCl2 like this. You are taking KOH in the presence of ethyl alcohol, right? Dehydrogenation takes place here. Here one HCl is removed, here another HCl is removed, so you will get here RC111Cr. This is the product, alkyne, and this is the reagent. And that is where is that reagent here? KOH ethyl alcohol is the actual reagent that can be used to bring this conversion DB to the correct selection in this 34th one. Next one. Next one, 35th one. For today's session, this is the last bit. The alkane that gives only one monochloro product on chlorination with chlorine in diffused daylight, diffused sunlight. Which alkane gives monochloro derivative? This is very important. In the discussions of isomers of pentane, we discussed this. Isomerism in alkanes, that was kept in the list in our lectures. Please refer that, you will get the complete answer. 2,2-dimethyl butane means this is hexane derivative. 4 carbons, 2,2-dimethyl, 2 carbons. So here if you take 2,2-dimethyl hexane butane, this is butane 2,2. This is 2,2-dimethyl butane. Primary, quaternary and secondary. If you put here 1 chloro, if you put here 2 chloro, if you put here 2 chloro 3 methyl, if you put here 1 chloro 3 methyl or 1 chloro 2 methyl, that means you are getting several isomers upon monochlorination. So here this is not correct. On the other hand, if you take normal pentane, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is normal pentane, you can take here. And here substitution you take, this is 1 chloro, this is 2 chloro, this is 3 chloro, this is 2 chloro, this is 1 chloro. So here 3 isomers will be obtained. 3 monochloro derivatives will be obtained in the case of normal pentane. And if you take isopentane, this is isopentane. This is isopentane. This is what you call isopentane. This is what you call skeleton structures. Hidden is hydrogen atoms. Tetravalency will be fulfilled by the hydrogens. And here if you take chloro, 1 chloro 2 methyl, if you take here 2 chloro 2 methyl, if you take here 3 chloro 2 methyl, if you take here 1 chloro 3 methyl. So 4 derivatives are obtained there. Here in this case you are getting 4. And in the case of neopentane, this is neopentane. If you adjust the hydrogens here, CH3, 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 this is what you call neopentane. Astonishing thing is, all 12 hydrogens are primary. Because these 12 hydrogens are attached to primary carbons. There is no secondary hydrogen, there is no tertiary hydrogen. Of course, quaternary hydrogen never present. And so here if H is replaced here, you will get here CH3, 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 CH2, Cl. One H is replaced by Cl, you will get this one. Chlorine in the presence of sunlight. In the presence of sunlight. 1 chloro 2,2-dimethyl propane. If you take here, same. If you take here, same. If you take here, same. All the 12 hydrogens are equal in the case of neopentane. All the 12 hydrogens are equal. So upon monochlorination, it gives only one monochloride derivative. The other, normal pentane or isopentane, cannot give one derivative because they are having primary secondary carbons, primary secondary tertiary carbons also. That is why the monoisomers are different there. In this also, primary carbon, quaternary carbon, secondary carbon, primary carbon, primary. In this way, there are also different carbons. Different number of isomers will be obtained, not one. So what is the correct answer in this case? This is a very important bit, of course. This is neopentane, the correct answer, to give the monochloride derivative for the monochlorination of pentane, neopentane. Okay. So this is all about the discussion of some bits in the previous NEET examinations collected here. Study well and get the grip over the subject. And in the next session, namely part 6, we are going to discuss some more bits belonging to NEET examination. Thank you very much for your kind hearing. Thank you.